Hello, brothers and sisters. I just wanted to tell you I got a huge confirmation about what I've been talking to you about with Genesis chapter 1. I'm like, I've never heard anybody talk about this before, but one of our sisters, she sent me a link with somebody else talking about the same thing, basically the same thing. So I'll put that in the comment section so you could go watch that video and see what he has to say. But in this video, I want to talk a little bit about how grace works, and it has to do with the vision that I have that I've told you guys about with the two stones, and one's dark and one's light, and the one in light, the light from this one goes into this one, and they're hinged together. So you have two stones hinged together, and from your perspective, this one is white, this one's dark. They're hinged together, and the Lord is on my right, speaking to me, and the image of the cross is just radiating throughout the entirety of this vision, and it happened all night long, kept on repeating over and over. And so the point is the stones are the same size. From my perspective, I would see the white one over here and the dark one over here, but I'm doing it from your perspective. So the light is over here and the dark one's over here. And what's interesting about that is in Hebrew, the language would go from right to left. So that's how. So putting this with Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. He is the light, the cross, and you. So when you would read that from right to left. But anyways, the point is the white stone is the same size as the dark one. And through the cross, you become one with him, and you're both light. It's not that the white stone is this big stone, and he's saying, oh, you're little and you're dark, and you got to build up all of these stones till you become equal with me, and then you're going to become white. No, you're the same, and he fills you with light. So that's what I wanted to try to explain, how grace works. It's not what you do. He's not saying, oh, you have to build up to me and then you're going to become righteous. No, he gives you his righteousness through belief and faith in what he did on the cross. Okay, so now we're going to move to something else. More about Genesis 1, but we're going to start in Genesis 2, verse 7, where God is forming Adam. And this has to do with Genesis verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So you're going to see that in the verse where God creates Adam. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So we're going to look at a few words. Formed, dust, and ground. Formed in the Hebrew means yatsar. It means through the squeezing into shape, to mold into a form, especially as a potter. Figuratively, to determine, that is, form a resolution, earthen, fashion, form, frame, make, potter, purpose, a purpose. We'll go a little deeper into yatsar, which means formed. To form, fashion, frame. To form, fashion. Of human activity, of divine activity, of creation, of original creation. There's levels here, different levels all coming together. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth is everything, and each verse after that is expanding. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And it's in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So what's first? The spiritual and then the physical. He created the spiritual, then the physical. Let's go on with Yatsar, formed. Of original creation, of individuals at conception. Remember, I was telling you that they see at conception a burst of light, a flash of light. This is God stitching you together in your mother's womb. Or, verse 2 of Genesis, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. See, something's happening. He's doing something. Of Israel as a people, to frame, preordain, plan, figuratively, of divine purpose of a situation, to be formed, be created, to be predetermined, be preordained, to be formed. Now we're going to look at dust. Dust, earth, dust, powder, ash, earth, ground, mortar, rubbish. Dry or loose earth, debris, mortar, ore, O-R-E. Now let's look at ground. From its general redness, country, earth, ground, husband, husbandman, land. To go a little deeper into this, ground, land, ground as general, tilling, yielding, sustenance, piece of ground, a specific plot of land, earth, substance, to build, for building or construction, ground as earth's visible surface, land, territory, country, the whole inhabited land. This can also come into the word blood. Now let's check out what the word blood means. The blood of man is also water, which moves through the body. When the blood is shed, the man or animal becomes silent. A son from the blood of his father resembles his father. Red, as in blood, the color red, the color of blood, man and earth. So I'm sharing that with you to see how it just, like, you can see it in creation, Genesis 1. And then God says, let there be light, and God saw the light that it was good. So let's see what good means. The good is the pictograph of Tet, and is a picture of a basket used to contain or surround something. The Bet is a picture of a tent or house. Combine these meanings, surround the house. The house is surrounded by grace. Grace. Beauty, love, health, prosperity, something that is functional. So let's take this back to what is sin. What is sin? Sin is the opposite of good, what we're reading here. To be surrounded by grace, beauty, love, health, prosperity, something that is functional. Sin is dysfunctional. Sin is decay. Sin is losing your hair. Sin is losing your eyesight. Sin is your teeth rotting out of your mouth. Sin is it's not just what religion presents as sin. Sin is death. Sin, when you're born, you're already aging. You're already decaying. Who can stop that? Nobody. That's why you have to be reborn. How are you reborn? Believing on His name. That's it. You believe on His name and what He did on the cross. And through that, He takes Himself, as how the vision I had, with the white stone and the dark stone, and you being joined together, He makes you white, clothing you in His righteousness. You didn't do anything. You weren't a little tiny stone and had to build up to His size of righteousness, and then He clothes you in His righteousness. No, you're equal. He's the light. You're in darkness. Him through the cross clothes you in His righteousness. Genesis day 1, and God said, "Let there be light." That is okay. Let me go to this. Well, just some stuff that I have written down. Verse 2, and the earth was without form and void. God created Adam from the dust of the earth and blew the breath of life into his nostrils, and he became a living soul. Still talking about verse 2, and the earth was without form and void. This is the virgin womb and the virgin tomb, because what is going to happen? God's going to say, "Let there be light." So Jesus in the womb is like verse 2 of Genesis. And then, when He's born, let there be light. Jesus in the virgin tomb, when He's risen from the dead, let there be light. You're in sin, Jesus comes into you, let there be light. When you're born, when you're at conception, let there be light. And you're stitched together in your mother's womb. Born again, Jesus died for me, I believe, I have faith, I'm born again. Verse 3, which is day 1, Adam is put into the Garden of Eden and is in relationship with God. This is let there be light. Jesus, the invisible God, coming into visibility. Jesus being born, holiness in flesh. Jesus, this is also the second coming. Let there be light is also the second coming, because Jesus will come into the world, and every eye will see, and every knee will bow, and every tongue will confess. Verse 4, God separating the light from the darkness is the wicked one sneaking into the garden, bringing darkness. But also in this verse is how Jesus through the cross would also separate the light. Sorry about that. Is how Jesus through the cross would also separate the light from the darkness as we are reborn in the Spirit. Jesus taking our sin into Himself, being buried, raised up again, separating us from sin. And that Jesus will judge with righteous judgment, separating the wheat from the tares. So that's just some things to think about. I didn't expect this to go so long, but there's so much in just the first few verses of Genesis, and it's in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. That's everything. Each verse after that is opening up, revealing a little bit more of what that first verse means. And we cannot do anything to become the righteousness of God. It is through His work on the cross and us believing, having faith of what He did. And as you go further into Genesis, it reveals more things like the fruits of the Spirit. The fruits of the Spirit as the trees. The trees represent like the ones who others would come to. Oh, I'm having trouble, and the tree produces fruit to help the other one. The leaders, and I don't want to use the word leader or something, because nobody's leader. Jesus is the one who is leading us into all truth. Holy Spirit leading us into all truth. So I hope this helped. As things come more into focus, we can share with each other. But go check out that video. I'll leave it in the comment section, and if it doesn't get left there, I'll try putting it over and over. But man, I just can't believe it. Like this person sent it to me, and I watched it, and I was like, wow, this is just like so amazing. So God bless each and every one of you, my brothers and sisters. I hope this made sense. I don't know how yet to make it more clear, but I think that you'll see it, because almost everything is being able to be seen in Genesis verse 1, 2, 3, and 4 up to the end of day 1. Then after that, everything is going to expand even more. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but He'll lead us into all truth. And God bless each and every one of you, my brothers and sisters. Have a wonderful week.